What $450,000 buys you in Boise, Idaho right now. Here's something that will stop you mid-scroll. $450,000 in Los Angeles gets you a one-bedroom condo with paper-thin walls and a shared laundry room. In Seattle, maybe a dated two-bedroom with a parking spot if you're lucky. But in Boise, Idaho, that same budget puts you inside a real honest-to-goodness home with a yard, a garage, and a room to actually breathe. The problem is most people searching for Boise have no idea what their money actually commands right now in 2026 because so much of the information floating around online is either outdated or vague. This video is for anyone who has been eyeing a move to Boise, has a budget in the 400s, and just wants a straight answer. I am Barb Dopp, your local Boise real estate expert. If you're thinking about relocating here or buying your first home in the Treasure Valley, you're in exactly the right place. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what $450,000 actually buys you in Boise right now, neighborhood by neighborhood, and I'm going to back every single thing I say with real data. If this is the kind of content that helps you, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because I cover this market every single week. This video is sponsored by ENVOY Mortgage, one of our business partners. Working with ENVOY Mortgage, I've bought several properties myself. It is a smooth process. Our mortgage officers are ones that will listen to what your needs are and put you in the right loan for your purchase. Reach out to them today. The $450,000 reality check, what the numbers actually say. Let us start with the market baseline because context is everything. According to Redfin, as of March 2026, the median home price in Boise sits at $495,000, down about 1% compared to last year. That might sound like a small dip, but here is what that actually means for you as a buyer. $450,000 puts you just below the median, which is genuinely not a bad place to be right now. According to Build Idaho, 2026 is starting with a stable market, with interest rates expected to ease and inventory levels higher than we've seen in a while. More homes, slightly softer prices, and rates that are beginning to move in the right direction. That combination is exactly the kind of window buyers have been waiting for. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. According to Zillow, the average home value in Boise right now is $502,667, up about 0.8% over the past year. So when you're shopping at $450,000, you're shopping just under the average in a market that is still appreciating, which means you're not overpaying for a depreciating asset. You're buying into a city that is still on the rise, just at a slightly calmer pace than the frenzy we saw a few years back. Boise proper versus the suburbs. Your dollar goes different places. Now, $450,000 inside Boise city limits versus $450,000 in Meridian or Nampa are genuinely different experiences. And that's one of the things people get wrong when they research this market from out of state. In Boise proper, particularly in neighborhoods like the Bench or Southwest Boise, $450,000 gets you a solid 3 to 4 bedroom home, typically somewhere between 1,700 and 2,200 square feet. You might find an updated kitchen, a 2-car garage, and a yard that is actually usable. Homes in the North End or closer to downtown will trend older, often built in the mid-century era, but they have character, walkability, and in one of the most desirable zip codes in the state. In Meridian, that same $450,000 stretches noticeably further. You're more likely to land a newer build, potentially 2,000 to 2,400 square feet, with modern finishes and community amenities baked in. Meridian has consistently ranked among the fastest growing cities in the nation, so the infrastructure is newer and the schools are very strong. And then there's Nampa. According to We Know Boise, the median home price in Canyon County, which includes Nampa, rose to $435,000, up 6.47% from last year. That means $450,000 in Nampa puts you above the median, which translates to more house, more land, and newer construction at a price point that gives you genuine room to negotiate. So let's pause right here for a second. We've established that $450,000 in Boise is a real workable budget. We've shown you how it plays out differently depending on whether you're in the city, the suburbs, or the outer valley. And what I hope is landing for you in this is this. The Boise market in 2026 is not the panic buy seller frenzy of 2021, and it is not a crash either. It's something much more interesting, a window, a moment where buyers actually have choices, and knowing which neighborhood fits your life is exactly where having a local expert matters. Speaking of which, I put together a free Boise relocation guide that breaks down the best neighborhoods, top-rated schools, and everything you need to know for a fresh start here. The link is in the description, so grab it. It's free and it's packed with the kind of detail that you can't Google. Now back to your $450,000 and where things get really revealing. The new construction wildcard. Here's the thing nobody outside of Idaho is talking about. New construction is one of the most interesting options at the $450,000 price point right now. Builders across the Treasure Valley are actively incentivizing buyers with rate buy-downs, closing cost credits, and move-in ready inventory sitting on lots longer than they would like. If you're open to a community in Meridian, Eagle, or even parts of Southwest Boise, you may find a brand new home in the low to mid 400s with builder incentives that effectively reduce your monthly payment in a meaningful way. That's a very different conversation than buying a resale home where sellers are not always as motivated to negotiate. According to the National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yoon, new home sales are projected to rise by another 5% in 2026. Builder activity is not slowing down in Idaho, it's picking up. And that means competition for new builds could tighten. Getting in now before that next wave of demand hits is worth considering. What you will not get at $450,000 and why that is actually fine. I want to be transparent with you because I think honesty builds trust. At $450,000 in Boise, you're probably not getting Eagle. According to We Know Boise, Eagle set a record in November of 2025 with a median sales price of $1 million, the highest ever recorded for that month. Eagle has long been the luxury corridor of the Treasure Valley, and $450,000 will not plant you there in a single-family home. You're also probably not getting a sprawling lot in the foothills with panoramic mountain views. Those properties trend significantly higher. But here's the thing. Most people moving to Boise are not coming for Eagle or the foothills. They're coming because Boise offers a quality of life that cities twice its size simply cannot match, at a price point that cities twice its size can't touch either. The bigger picture, why $450,000 in Boise still makes sense. So let's zoom out and tie this all together. According to Redfin, Boise's median sales price is currently 13% higher than the national average. But the overall cost of living is only 3% higher than the national average, and that gap matters. It tells you that Boise has appreciated in value relative to other markets, but the lifestyle costs, groceries, utilities, dining out have not exploded in the same way. You're getting a premium city at a near normal cost of living, and if you're coming from California, Seattle, Portland, or Denver, all of which I have visited those places, your $450,000 is buying you something those markets stopped offering years ago. Space, a real yard, a garage, a neighborhood, and a community that still feels human. And when you go to the grocery store, you're going to notice that the cost of living in the expenses for the food that you put on your table every day is significantly less. So is gas, by the way. So here is the bottom line. At $450,000 in Boise right now, you're working with a budget that sits just below the current median, which puts you in a genuinely competitive spot in a market that is stabilized without crashing. Inside Boise city limits, you're looking at a solid 3 to 4 bedroom home with real square footage and character. In Meridian or Nampa, that same number buys you something newer, often larger, and sometimes with builder incentives that sweeten the deal further. The market in 2026 is not chaotic. It is measured, and that's actually good news for thoughtful buyers. Inventory is up a little bit, sellers are more motivated than they have been in years, and rates have room to improve. If you're not too late and you're not too early, you are right on time. If this helped you get a clearer picture of what your money does in Boise, I would love to keep that conversation going. Reach out to me directly or contact. My contact is in the description right below, and I'm happy to walk you through what's available at your specific budget in the neighborhoods that actually fit your life. And don't forget to download the free Boise relocation guide in the description. It has the best neighborhood school ratings and everything that you need to know to make this move with confidence. If you want to keep learning about this market, the next video is right there waiting for you. I will see you in that one.